Watch this video and then we'll talk about it.
Y'all, we love to talk about the baddie to Christian pipeline, but nobody talks about the abusive man to relationship guru pipeline. So many of these relationship gurus and, what some people would say pandering to women, a lot of these men have abusive backgrounds. They have been serial cheaters, mentally abusive, physically abusive.
I tagged that creator. You should go and check out her video on this. But I 100% agree. And so many of us have been saying this for the longest time. Over the years on this app, we have seen men come on the scene. Their content is geared towards women. They have a mainly female audience. And then somehow, some way, sooner or later, they are exposed for being fucking creeps, abusers, serial cheaters, users. Back in 2020, I dated a content creator on this app whose platform is geared towards women. It's all mostly women. Don't say his name and don't try to guess who it is, because if you guess, you'll be wrong. And I'll just block you for being messy. And just so we can go ahead and mark somebody off the list, it's not anyone who claims to be a self-aware narcissist or a reformed abuser. Which, side note, I remember telling my therapist about those types of people, and she said anybody who buys into that and believes that they've magically changed and are self-aware, that person still has work to do and needs therapy, and they're still under the same delusion is the only word I can think of, the same delusion as when they thought that the abuser that they escaped from had changed. So just sit with that for a second. Long story short, I dated him. We were in a very short-lived relationship. And to be quite honest with you guys hear me talk about my abusive ex-husband. What that content creator put me through fucked up my mind worse than my abusive ex-husband. I'll say that. And the funny thing is, he talks about the specific things that he did to me and tries to help other women. I broke up with him, and I still was, at the time, I still was very much in shock and kind of questioning, like, there's no way that he could have this platform and be treating me like this. So I broke up with him, and then I reached back out to him because, again, I still was like mind fucked. And he told me something about he had a relationship conference or seminar to speak at about how to have successful relationships. And I remember in that moment being so confused because he did nothing but mistreat me and gaslight me. So I was like, how the hell? Anyway, I talked about what happened to me in that relationship on this app, and so many women, I'll never forget, bullied and harassed me to defend him. And the funny thing is, he talked about how people like him manipulate others so that when victims come out with what happened to them, they won't be believed. So I thought that was funny. So many people unfollowed me, and so many women who were friends of his made videos defending him as well. And those women also make content like him and were once victims of men just like him. So I was so confused. And that actually wasn't even the most hurtful thing. The most hurtful thing was people who I thought, creators who I thought were my friends who had been through similar things that I had. And they would say stuff like, well, I don't want to block him because I don't want to seem mean. I don't want to get in the middle of it. I'm not going to block him because I still really like what he has to say. And those were the same women who would turn around and say, believe victims, I stand with victims, blah, 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 blah. And the biggest thing that people would say is, well, I mean, he's helping me, so what does it matter? And that always confused me as well, because let's just say, for example, somebody abuses or takes advantage of your best friend and they have the best pizza shop in town. Your friend is devastated because of the things that happened to her. Are you still going to be a patron of that person's pizza shop knowing what they did to your friend? If the answer to that is yes, you're a shitty person. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. But it's one thing if I don't know what you do behind closed doors, I'm not aware of it. It's one thing. But once I do become aware of how shitty you are, I can no longer support you. I just can't. But that's internalized misogyny for you.